And for that, I need to make some. I need a bunch of fine wood. Oh, stop it. All right, so we got that. Fine wood. Get rid of the normal wood beams for the moment. Oh, shit, I didn't mean to drop it. It's kind of cool looking, though. I wish it didn't despawn it. You could leave some wood up there. That's kind of neat. All right, so I need to make some more of this. I need to make a lot of it. I get heartwood all the time, so I'm not concerned. All right, so if I want to make this, fine wood beams, fine wood planks, 15 beams to 25. God damn, that's a lot. Jesus, that's a lot. All right, let's start with fine wood beams and start crafting. It's almost 6 in the morning. See, Alexia? Almost 6 in the morning. I'm not even going to have enough. I don't think these beams are going to be enough. Next, if I want to make that, what is it? One pillar? Those are it, isn't it? Yeah, those are it. I need more fine wood beams. Only one. That's not bad. Yeah, I will want these. No, I don't know. What should I use? I'm using rough pillar for everything, but I'm kind of getting a little bit different inside. I'll try them both out. Let me get, excuse me. Let me get some of these. Actually, I don't need that, do I? Not at the moment. Just for testing out, I can take a set of that. All right. So let's start making the flooring or the roof, however you want to call it. All right. All right. So we're gonna start making this out. All right. So this one was going to go out for a single. Yeah, because I didn't want it to cover over the entrance. Well, it was going to a little bit because you have to have a flooring here. But that's it. All right. I want them all facing the same way. Good. No. I would plank. Seriously, I've already got to make more. All right. What I got in here? Just regular wood planks? Okay. What is that? Oh, there's my fletching stuff. I knew I was missing my fletching stuff somewhere. Need more planks. Why doesn't it tag it? Why doesn't it grab that fucking chest? It's so weird. I'm gonna have to go cut some hardwood. I forgot I need more planks than I need beams. It makes that sound sometimes. I don't know what that means. It goes, grr. All right. I'm definitely going to go chop some hardwood. All right. All right. What's going to happen is I'm going to double this one here for the balcony. It's doing it again. What's those damn sounds? Oh, that won't do it. So I need to put some posts down. And posts would go here. I need to make I'm going to take this, I'm going to bury this thing a few times. Green as much as we can get it. All right, now if I put this here, that should be just, is it me? Oh, I'm missing fucking beams. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. All right. I'm a moron. Don't think I can make any more, can I? I can make a few more. I'm telling you, man, this is going to eat it up. That gives me enough. Make at least 2. All right. There we go. So that's my gist of it. That's my initial idea. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put edging around here and all that, so no worries. But what I'm thinking is maybe if I just cut that and just have the balcony going around. So you got dining area here. I can actually turn that into a dining area as well, or this could be the seedy part where the rogue crew. Excuse me, I'm stretching. Or they come here and they sit and they talk about their next heist. It could be under this. There's some low chandeliers here, some wagon wheel chandeliers. That'd be all right. Maybe just some lighting on the table, some of the tallow on the table. So this might be too much. I might be actually adding, if I add this row, I might be adding too much to the tavern. I don't know though. Let's take it out and see what it looks like. Okay, and if I put up things like this, just don't want it to be too crowded. I must find wood beams. All right. So see, that's starting to look pretty good. It's starting to look pretty good. So maybe I won't do a second row here. There's gonna be tons of floor space here anyways. Yeah, and I've got this area here that can be used. I can put windows, put a window here. I'll have to put a small window, won't I? I'll have to put a very small, put this window here. And put nice, people something to look at here. Lots of light, man. I like lots of light. And then I got to start fucking around with this. This would use. You said you were a shirt? Yeah, I was a first sergeant. I was an acting first sergeant. I went to a first sergeant school, but there was no official positions for me. So, sorry. Let me be very clear. I didn't go to the first sergeant, like the training school. I did the first sergeant, the class you can take as a master sergeant. So you can fill in as acting first sergeants. So I went to that course, and I was acting first sergeant at our the 604th, the Ducks, our squadron, for about 5 months, 6 months, 4 months, something like that, because the first shirt left, and they didn't have a fill for him, so. Yeah, I didn't have a lot. I made it to point to my TAC Ps. I said, don't tell me shit while I'm wearing the uniform. You know, when we're at the pond, which is our bar there which was our bar there at Camp Red Cloud. When we're at the pond, you could talk all day, but when we're wearing our uniform, no, don't tell me anything. I heard some stuff, man. They got a lot of fight with the Army. A lot of fights with the Army, man. They just couldn't keep their hands off each other. You were like, yeah, it was something. But did you do the mountain training? The mountaineering training, where it was middle of winter. It was November, December, and they take you up to camp in the middle of the mountains, and then you have to walk, you have to navigate to certain points, and then you have to come back. And it's in pitch blackness. You have no lights, no nothing. All you have is your compass, the glow in the dark you can use a flashlight to look at the compass and look at your map, so you can get your bearing. But that is it. It was like 2 hours of straight pitch black darkness. I mean, there was no lights. You were in the forest, in the mountains, in the winter, in the dark. It was fucking dark. We didn't have the grace of having a moonlight on us that night. And when you got back, they had this big roaring fire, and we all sat around the fire and had some snacks, then went to bed. That was enjoyable. I enjoyed doing that. It was definitely something, though. It's definitely something. Oh, fine would be. If I get rid of that, I can't even walk up it now. I can't even walk up it. All right, that's fine. That's fine. Oh my God, I'm fucking falling down this staircase. Is it more for looks than anything? If that comes off, then put this on. I guess we're gonna those. All right, so I do that in half again to get that. And this one, I can only go to about here. Okay. Why is it? That's so weird. All right. That's so weird. Fine wood beams. All right, it's time for me to go get some. So go cut some hardwood. Yeah. So sorry I didn't have more crazy stories. I can't really think of any. I mean, nothing really happened. I mean, we did a lot of PT. There was a shit ton of PT. I'm done. I hate running. I hated running in the military. I hated running so hard. It hurt. That's how much I hated running. But I did it. Got through it. Oh. Where's my wrought iron? There you go. Got tons of those for days now. So let's go out and chop heartwood. Heartwood up here. Nope. Nope. Fletching table. They brought back the 2-mile run. Good Lord. Good Lord. What did you have to do it in? I did my 1.5 miles because of Korea, because of the tack peas and how hard they push. I did my 1.5 miles in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Fastest I ever done it. In fact, I almost beat out one of the fast guys. It was funny. We were supposed to run around this loop, and this loop has this building around it. So you actually can't see past maybe 100 feet in front of you because it's a constant curve. And there's this young guy there. He's like 20, 21. Everybody liked him. He's a really good guy. And I was catching up with him. And then one of those fucking tack peas said something like, Jones, he's catching up with you. And he looked back. Otherwise, he wasn't going to look back. And we had like a 1/4 mile stretch. I mean, literally, it was sprint level. And I could have taken him if I had done it just right. If he had, when he sees me pass him, if he sprints, he's young, he would have sprinted past me in a second. I mean, there would have been just no chance. But I was going to maintain with him and then catch him right at the very end and beat him by like a second or two. But one of those tack peas said something, and that kid took off. And that was it. There was no way in hell I was going to fucking catch up to him. But I could have had him, man. I was 40, shit, when was this? 2011. I was 38.
Pandemic. If you took over that spot Riker's got with the storage house, would you redo it?
A little bit, yeah. Primarily, I would change the tagging on all the boxes.
What? You don't like everything almost labeled?
Oh no. There isn't enough labels for certain things. Too many labels for others. As far as the looks of it, what's that?
I said that drives me nuts.
Yeah. And I since he's not here, we can't do anything about it. And I would change the walls. I'd probably make the storage house. I'd see what to do, but it definitely looks too stark with all the stone. I would definitely change that up. Make it prettier.
He has good intention. On that.
Oh yeah.
Motivation that he made to do it. Like we needed it.
Oh yeah, it was his first one.
It differently, but that's me.
Well, when I do it a second time, I'll make sure I ask opinion, but not a lot. You know how people are with their opinions. So everybody's got opinions.
Yeah.
So, but I would ask for some. Hey, what do you imagine? And then I'd get people's opinion on it, because for me, it's storage area is a storage area. I don't mind making it pretty, but I don't want to spend a whole shit ton of time on it. This is his first build, so I think he did good. He learned how to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I would definitely. It's far too much damn stone. I mean, maybe since it's a warehouse, it should be stone, and maybe we move it to the limestone or even granite. Really make it like 1950s American, concrete square ass structures, kind of, that something like to make it clear this is a safe house, and then we could get a proper door on it, a double door on it, and lock it up just on purpose. Really make it look like you guys can't get into our shit. That'd be kind of neat. Or, to kind of make an extension of the tavern, where it kind of has the base stone and then it goes something above that. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I just think as far as like the organizational aspect of it, just different. Like he's not familiar with like all the different things that you would store in there.
Yeah,
So I think there's like a whole lot of extra boxes that don't need to be at least labeled the way they are.
I know. And then he has only 2 for armor, or 2 for leather and 1 for armor, and 4 for weapons. It's like, no, dude, you need. Yeah, so I'm with you on that. But that's trial and error with him. He did this all voluntarily and didn't really have a clue, did he?
No, but he put it up quick and he did a pretty good job. I mean, for what it is, Yeah, some of these I had to rip off the placard, put a different one. It's because of the expansion and contraction items, things like that. But,
Yeah.
like downstairs, he's got like 10 boxes for charcoal, and me, I would put the charcoal like near the kilns. I wouldn't keep them in the storage house like this.
Oh yeah, yeah. Certain things, yeah, we don't really. I mean, certain things we'd ask people is, hey, do you care to find charcoal here? Would you make it yourself? And most people just make it themselves. So yeah, I might drop that down to 2 boxes or whatever. But like I said to Stormy last night, this to me, this is a top up location. When you have extra shit, you dump it where it belongs. And if you need a stack or 2, you can come here and pick it up instead of going, all the way out into the wildlands just to mine it. That's
Right.
that's what I'm looking at this place as. Not as everybody can just come in here and grab everything they want, or I don't mind them dumping their stuff as long as they dump it proper. Now, what Riker did was he kind of had a good idea of, he had these chests out here where people dump their stuff, and then he went through it. I'm personally not going to do that. I'm not going through everybody's stuff. They need to put it where it belongs. So when we open this up, go ahead.
I was gonna say at first he didn't have these boxes out front. He just told people to put them anywhere, and he'll sort it out, and then you'll find things like there'll be like a box with like a whole bunch of random stuff in there because people just do a dump into one box.
Oh, blame me.
Stays there like
all the meat over here, that's my fault. I really had no place to put all the meat. So I was using these bottom boxes that nobody was using. I was like, fuck it, I'm just dumping meat and all this shit. So I did the same thing, man. I'm totally guilty of doing that. But I plan to get rid of it because I was just waiting for this kitchen. So I got to start doing the kitchen stuff. But yeah, I plan to clean this up once he hands it over. I hope he's all right. Yeah, I'm gonna message him now because I haven't messaged him in a while.
he popped on a few days ago, like I seen, and he wasn't on long, and then he talked to John because him and John are firefighter buddies or whatever. He said he had to go on like another assignment or whatever that is. So
Okay. Hope he does come back. All right, I gotta go get heartwood. Need a lot of it.
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, I've had to use a lot. Each one of those pillars I make are like 2,000 heartwood each.
Oh, and the flooring. Jesus, 15 fine wood beams and 25 planks. Like, Jesus.
Oh no, that's not the flooring. That's just the tower itself. That's just the outer casing.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But they're fun. They look nice. It's just tedious.
Interesting. Hey, girl. Where'd you go? Good girl. Good girl. What time is it? Oh, 6 o'clock. Yeah, it's 7. I'll feed you. I didn't know a board was that close to. Oh, it's over there. Okay. You get a new belly scratch. Yeah, you like that, don't you? You like that belly scratch, don't you? Down, down. There you go. Good girl. Don't just jump on people. How this works. There you go. Shh. Good girl. All right, down. Come on down. Come on down. Good girl. It's a bigger one. I want the big ones. The big ones right here. I want that. Mandatory PTs twice. Mandatory PT like squadron, or what do you mean by mandatory? Sorry, Wade. Go ahead. Explain to me. What do you mean by mandatory PT? Like, what did it mean for you, for what you knew? I knew, man, for me, TAC P, and before that, I was at, wasn't ASOS. It was ASOS and Guam. And mandatory PT was 5 days a week because our boss had nothing else to do unless we were deployed. So he was a big pain in our fucking ass, always PTing, always just, Jesus Christ, man. It just, I mean, that's the worst thing you could find is a commander that has nothing better to do. Then you are sitting there PTing all the goddamn time. Yeah, it drove me nuts. That's twice a year we go. What? You're required to test twice? Are you talking about this was just when you were doing JTAC or TAC-P, or was this Air Force wide? Twice a year? Look, I'm sorry, but that makes no fucking sense. The reason why people are fat is not because of lack of exercise. I mean, they need to exercise, but it's a lack of proper dietary control. People are just eating all the time and not doing shit. You know, you got to get them to eat healthy. And then exercise, you won't have to do anywhere near as much. Hell, make them do fucking mandatory walks. That's just as good as health as goddamn PTing. When have you ever seen an Air Force person run in real life? I mean, for war or whatever. It just doesn't happen. That always upset me. It always upset me. It's like they insisted on not doing the right thing. They insisted on just sticking to old school, weird, fucking archaic habits. Always found that just weird. I want to say it again. Weird. See, right? When have you ever seen a goddamn salad bar on a base? You don't. Only in the commissary, if you have a big enough commissary. All you see is Kentucky Fried Chicken and Churches and Burger King and stuff. So, yeah, and then what do? They just run your ass, to death twice a year. Just makes no goddamn sense. I said that from the beginning because I was always on the big boy program. I was like, you guys aren't teaching us proper diet. You're teaching us this American food pyramid bullshit. I said, which doesn't even make any goddamn sense. And then, yeah, you're telling me I got to go run my fat ass off. I mean, you say I'm not healthy enough for the Air Force, but I've never had to not do my job. I've never been told just to sit at your desk. You're too fat to work. No, I'm too fat to be in. Air Force, man. Air Force. I swear to God. Military. It's got some. Love it. Again, loved it. But when it came to its health, it didn't have a goddamn clue what it was doing for its members. It didn't have any clue how to demand better health. 100%, man. Corporations. America, when you leave America long enough, and I know you know, military knows a little bit about it, but when you properly leave America, you don't come back, you just realize just how unbelievably just corrupt and biased the laws were, especially in the 40s and 50s and 60s, and just how I understand ignorance. I understand sooner or later you have to learn. And we can't use rose-tinted glasses and look back on the past and condemn our forefathers because they didn't know. But when the food pyramid was bought and paid for by what the milk corporations, farmers, grains and corn and stuff like that, it was bought by them. Jesus Christ, man, bought and paid for. Still to this day, they say you need carbs. You don't need any carbs. They say, you shouldn't eat red meat. You can eat red meat. They say, you shouldn't eat this, or you should have a balance. You don't have to balance fucking anything. You should have more greens in your diet. Why? I come from a country, I come from a land around the world where there wasn't a lot of green vegetables, and my people are just fine. That's the other thing I learned, Wade. There's a whole different level of it. You say you should balance your diet, have like broccoli or stuff. So yeah, but where I came from in the world, broccoli doesn't exist. Broccoli came from here, or carrots came from Afghanistan, So I don't need carrots in my diet because 3/4 of the world never had carrots, or 9/10 of the world never had carrots in their diet to begin with. So they supplemented it with other things, local foods. So you find out this whole regionalization of food. Humans don't need what everybody says humans need. Cholesterol isn't a bad thing. When I have a cut, I put a Band-Aid on it. That's what cholesterol is to your body. It's the Band-Aid for your arteries. It's what, stops bleeding. So they say, oh, you got too high cholesterol. Well, do I? Am I not supposed to have this high cholesterol? What's the average? Not only what's the average is the average correct? There's a lot to it that we are just, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination. Everything tastes like salt. I know, you go to Italy, you buy canned tomatoes, guess what's in the can? Fucking tomatoes. You go to America and it's got sulfides and it's got salt in it. And it's like, what the shit is going on? No wonder why we're all, I like salt. I think salt is good in the diet. I think people should have more of it, to be quite honest with you. But what you don't do is you don't mix salt and fats with carbohydrates. It's just not good. So if you have low carbohydrates, you can increase your fats and salts. If you have high carbohydrates, decrease your fats and salts. Just simple as that. But you're right, they salt everything in America. And I don't mind, like I said, I love salt. I'm a proponent of it. I think it's healthy for us to have it. But you don't salt the food prior. Like my partner always buys salted butter. I'm like, why the fuck are you buying salted butter? Buy unsalted butter. Just add the salt when you want it. You buy salted butter, how much salt in it? I don't know. Exactly. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Wait, I'm with you. There's a lot that's been told to us. And what I've been teaching my wife, my partner, she's basically my domestic wife. What I've been teaching her specifically is in your life, you want to be at least like 85% correct. That means that 85% of the time, at least, if not 90 or 95, you want to be correct in what you say. That means if you don't know it, don't say it. Or if you don't know it, say, I don't know. Don't sit there and start talking bullshit if you don't really know what you're talking about. If you want to voice your opinion, say, my opinion is, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't use opinion and believe your fact. Next, there's no such thing as your truth, my truth. There is the truth. If you don't want to accept it, you have to deal with that. If you don't want that in your life, that's your problem. But there's no such thing as your fucking truth. I hate when people say, well, my truth is, no, your fucking truth doesn't exist. There's just the truth and nobody owns it. Yeah, when you talk to your teeth, you absolutely do. Yeah, and the last thing I taught her, one of the last things I taught her was you need to act more than react. Most of life, what you see when you see people talking, when you see people behaving, when they're feeling, when they're emoting, when they're doing bullshit, they're reacting to something else. It said you want to try to have as much action in your life, not reaction. When you're acting, you're the source of something. You're creating, you're developing, you're starting something. But if you react, all you're doing is just pushing it along. Something like the food pyramid. You know, when you find out about the food pyramid, that's you acting because you're learning new information. You're not letting whatever it was before tell you how you're going to react. So, oh, the food pyramid's right. Okay, I'm just going to do that. Well, that's just reacting by just doing what someone else has already done. So you want to act. You want to find out the information yourself. You want to learn. And a lot of people don't. She's starting to figure it out. She's saying, yeah, so everybody here they just keep doing the same old thing. And I said, that's right. They're just reacting. They're just doing what they've always done before. Nobody's doing anything new, no initiatives. It just, yeah, so there you go. You got me a little bit on a soapbox. I love philosophy. I love stoicism. I like learning about these things, about how to think properly, not just think for myself, but think for those around me because, you know, I love them. That's why they're around me. It's not easy. There was I think it was Seneca or Marcus Aurelius. I don't remember what it was, but it was really funny. Basically, he said, in the same words, they said, the world hates a stoic. Or no, the world hates a philosopher because philosophers decipher reality into truth. They take what's in front of us and they make it truth. They believe in logic. They believe in facts, and they believe in a sensible life. And most people, if I told my partner this many times, most people emote. You know, there's thoughts and there's feelings. Feelings aren't supposed to think for us because they're not thoughts. They're emotions, they're feelings. They can influence thoughts, and many times you'll see they override thoughts. They are the deciding factor in a thought. But at no point ever should a feeling be how you think. A feeling should only help to influence or guide your decisions. But most people emote. Most people use their feelings and make their decisions based off their feelings, not based off of facts or based off logic. And that's where they get it wrong. That's where they fuck things up. And I don't appreciate that. I don't like it. I don't respect it at all. And so I've had to tell my partner that multiple times in conversations or arguments that you're not even thinking, you're just feeling. And she goes, well, what's wrong with that? I said, well, you're wrong first. So when I'm using logic to try to discuss with you or try to solve a problem or we have a disagreement, you're using feelings. And that's a problem because you're getting misguided by your emotions. And your emotions should have nothing to do with this because we're trying to make decisions here. And she's finally figured it out. She's finally learned that all of her emotions, all this bullshit she was doing wasn't helping. It absolutely wasn't helping her. And then she started seeing in other people. And she started realizing that, holy shit. I was like, I told you, everybody does it. Everybody emotes. Instead of thinking, instead of being logical, they emote. And that shit's got to stop. There you go. Man, you got me on some good soapboxes this morning, Wade. You got me all over my soapbox. Man, I'm giving everybody some free schooling. You're welcome, viewers. Getting a lot of wood too, man. Getting a lot of fucking wood. Dog? All right. All right, Wade. Say whatever you want to say. You hold on a second. The dog is whining. She either needs to go out or she's hungry. So let me feed her. It's ironic that rhetoric came from the Greek philosophers. Use emotion to control the mass. Oh, yeah. Donald Trump did it perfectly. That's exactly what Donald Trump's doing. He's using fear. He doesn't use logic. And what did the Democrats do? The right uses fear and anger. The left uses sympathy and anger. It uses compassion and anger. So, but there's anger on both sides. There's no logic. There's none of that shit. It isn't. And modern government, with, again, no conspiracy here, modern government, the people get modern government for two things: money and power. They don't get into help. If they do get into help, that usually is driven out of them with the first 5 years if they stay. People, and those people that truly want to help, they're lost in it. You know, it's difficult for them to maintain in that type of environment when the environment doesn't work the way you think it does. We have a set of laws and systems, and we have the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, everything that says how the government's supposed to be run, but it doesn't run that way. It only runs that way on the surface. And it's only run that way on the surface to comply with the Constitution and the laws. But it doesn't actually run that way underneath. Underneath, it's a completely different system. You know, it's based off handshake deals and you know, back alley bargains and you've got you have. I'm just taking a pause real quick because I gotta feed the dog. What are the people that go to Capitol Hill that work for governments or work for businesses? Lobbyists. Lobbyists should be illegal. Any lobbyist should be illegal. There should be no private company influencing our politicians, because our politicians are voted in and should be voted in by the people. But what do we have? What happened 10, 15 years ago? The Supreme Court said it's okay for companies to donate to super PACs. So now companies can have a right to donate shit tons of money to a presidential election or local elections. Well, how does that work? I'm just a guy that makes, you know, $40,000, $50,000 a year. There's no way I'm going to compete with someone dropping $500,000, $1 million, $2 million into a super PAC, because that person is going to get listened to, and that person's not a person. It's a group of people who works for a company. Well, that's unfair because they don't vote. The company doesn't vote, but the people are using companies' money to influence elections, and so they can go out and vote however they want, but they've got tons of money that they normally wouldn't have access to. But that's considered legal now. In other words, pay to win. When that happened in the Supreme Court, it became a pay-to-win government. And after that, corruption wasn't even a word. The whole thing was like that. The whole thing was absolutely broken. Get out of here. It isn't. Well, the problem to solve is you start making the government, anybody that joins the government can't have personal assets, personal investments. They have to hand that over to their family or diverse of it. They make $60,000, $80,000 a year. That's it. They don't make money in government. You're not supposed to be there to get rich. You don't have investments. You're not allowed to have investments. No such thing as lobbyists. A government person goes in there and they fucking run the government. It's a job and they do it. And I'll guarantee you this, two things are going to happen. You aren't going to get the same people in there anymore. And the people that do come in actually want to do something. They might say, well, we're not getting paid enough. Well, then fucking leave. I don't want you in there anyways. If you're not really serious about doing the job, the government should be there buying for the people. But why we have the government, they said, well, we should get rid of the government. No, we shouldn't. We fucking need the government because humans, generally speaking, are lazy. We don't want to run other people. We're either lazy, incapable, or we just don't desire to do things like run the government. Most people don't want to be in politics. But the people that do, they want it for power, influence, and money. And those are the people who shouldn't be in. That's correct, service. Like I didn't join the Air Force because of I'd be quite honest with you, some patriotic bullshit. To me, patriotism is bullshit because it's fed to you. It's not something people inherit, it's something people are trained to believe in. I didn't join because of some flag. I joined because I had a daughter when I was 19 years old and I needed to pay for her. You know, I needed to give her a better life than what I had. When we had retreat, did the flag, you know, when they played retreat, did I kind of get teared up a bit? Every once in a while I did. You know, I did feel patriotic. I'm not numb, but no. Actually, a lot of people that were patriotic said, you know, I like to go to war or whatever. Those people scared me. I was like, you can go fuck yourself. I think you want to go to a war zone. Who the fuck wants to go to a war zone? If you want to go to a war zone, dude, you need to get out of the military because you're crazy. Yeah, you're going to be one of those cops. You're going to get out and be a police officer. I can already tell. That's true. You're absolutely right. You know, if we don't have some kind of structure, but that's what the government's for. It is. The government. That's what the laws are for, is to make a standard for people. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's why I think we do need the government. I'm not an anarchist by any stretch of the imagination. I think anybody says you don't need a government. I said, well, no, you're either the first person's going to die or the first person's going to kill someone. Because if you don't believe in a government, then you believe in killing your fellow man for survival, and that's bullshit. And we're not even now, there's no killing for survival hardly anymore. We don't kill humans for survival. We kill them because of revenge. I know you're, dude. You're really getting me in on one, dude. You're really getting me on. Let me feed the dog. I want to take a break because I'll stay on the soapbox for life. Hold on a second. Let me feed the dog. Come on, let's go feed. All right, I'm back. So sorry for going off on one. Go get some more wood. I want to fill this up. Got this filled up, right? No, I'll fill that up. I'll fill that up. Good, good, good. Oh, get the fuck off my. Yeah. Fine thing. I was going through all these feelings about my life changing the way I'm thinking. I started seeing humans differently. Trying not to judge. It's a bit difficult. I'm only human. But I started pulling away from all my friends. I couldn't be around them any longer. They were good people. You know, nothing like that. But every time we got together, we just drank, barbecued, and talked about nothing. And literally, I don't remember a single conversation. We're just it's about like work and our friends and family, and there was nothing about like religion or politics or shit that actually had meaning in our lives. All the stuff that people worry about, like properly, like above them worry about, you know, they wouldn't talk about that stuff. They couldn't get past just the normal level of life that everybody deals with. They just couldn't get past that in conversations. So, and me and I had this close set of friends. There was about 15 of us. we'd probably get together twice a month, easy, if not sometimes more. Sometimes, sometimes we'd have 3 weekends in a row. We were all together. Just when the mood suited us, the weather was warm. That kind of stuff. And is there yellow onion? Where's the yellow onion at? Sometimes it's there they are. Oh, yellow onion. Shit, I didn't even know they were that close. I'll put some in there. There you go. But I started pulling away from them. I was so ultra bored at the parties, just loud music, people talking about nonsense. And well, I just stopped. Luckily I moved away, about 45 minutes away, but I had to walk away from them. And so my life had been changing like that, my mentality and how I think about things. And so I started watching, flipping through YouTube, and there was this philosopher from the early to mid 20th century. I remember what his name is. I got him on there. I got him saved. He pops up every once in a while. And he was talking exactly about someone like me. He said that the person that it's not that they don't like their friends. It's they have no room for them anymore. Their interests have diverged so greatly that they can't be around him any longer because it didn't fill me. There was no space for empty conversation. I needed more intellectual stimulation. And so I just stopped. I tried to tell him, we had one time, there's two things. There was one time that really kind of did it for me. Is that the women were going out, all the wives and stuff, they were heading out to a woman's dance night, one of the local establishments. It's all right, so that's cool. Girls go out, have a good time, dress up, get fancy, do your thing, do girl things. And all those guys are like, hey, why don't we just have, why don't we just night in? So I said, yeah, let's do it in my house. It's fine. And so I asked him, I said, hey, I got one for you. Why don't, when you guys all come over, I said, why don't we just not drink tonight? No, seriously. We never had it where just us guys just sit around and talk about the stuff that we find important. Why don't we just have, we could have Coke, Diet Coke, we could have a few beers maybe, but nothing really alcoholic, nothing properly drink-wise. Some of the Jordan Peterson's good. I don't like it when he gets too high on the right side, but he does have some good stuff. Yeah. Jordan Peterson, I take, I give a night, take it or leave it, I guess, kind of thing. He has some really good points I like a lot. So I asked my friends, I say, why don't we just have a non-alcoholic night? I'll barbecue, have some Coke or whatever. Maybe if anybody wants to bring over a beer or two, but that's it. That's no hard alcohol, no rum, no whiskey, no gin, nothing. And they didn't want to do it. No. Oh, we definitely want to bring booze. I was like, okay, then we'll have to do it somewhere else because I'm not going to do that at my house. I was very clear with them. All I wanted was just have a night where we can actually talk about shit. Something important, something more than just getting drunk and talking bullshit. Nope, they couldn't even do it. And I'd asked play. It was my house. I could have made the rules, but I let them decide, and that was it. Another time, me and one of the guys, we were around again at my house. I was hosting one of the parties, and he's a very religious person, but he's not but that's only part of what he is. He's a good, he doesn't put it in anybody's faces or whatever, but he's a strong believer in God, all that. I'm atheist through and through. I'm atheist. And we started talking about it, and I was interested in it because he's from Rwanda. And so I was talking to him about, how the religion works over there. And one of the ladies we were around the fire pit, said, hey, we don't want to talk about that. And I looked at her and I said, we aren't talking about it. Me and him are talking about it. You are talking to Maria. I'm talking to him. And she's like, well, yeah, but that's uncomfortable. I said, what religion are you? And she said, I'm Hindu. I said, are you uncomfortable with being a Hindu? No. Then why are you uncomfortable talking about it? I said, no, this is my house. I'm having a conversation with him about what I want to talk about. And even my partner nudged me and said, nah, this makes people uncomfortable. And that was the last nail in the coffin. I was like, I'm fucking done. I can't be around these people anymore. I just can't. You tell someone You tell anybody right on the street, a random person, God doesn't exist, you're just as likely to get an argument as a punch in the face. That's how important religion is to people. But they don't want to talk about it? Nah, I'm good. So yeah, that's kind of where I have been lately on where I stand with people and just in general, you know? So there you go. There you go. That's why I had to leave my friends, because they just didn't anymore. Nice. Nice. All right, let's do this. Let's clean this up just slightly. All right, that's good enough. I want to need some more of this. I've watched some Jordan Peterson stuff. I like it. I'll have to find out who that guy is that did the philosophy. Let me go to YouTube real quick. Let me take a second. He's actually really good. He's very calm-mannered, calm speaking, really, really quite pleasant to be around. I never really listened to Jordan's take on religion. Oh, I didn't know that. What's his name? What's school he founded? Jordan Peterson. Okay. What's that focus on? Oh,